Hello, welcome to Handmade by Julia Quinn and my video sharing with you this beautiful bundle that comes in the new mini catalogue. It starts tomorrow. I can't show you inside the catalogue yet, but you'll be able to see this stamp set inside that catalogue. You'll be able to order it from tomorrow, which is pretty exciting. And this is a project that was taught to us by Stampin Up when we were learning about the new mini catalogue. And I just love the technique of colouring on the vellum to create the beautiful flowers. Okay, so I've actually made this card or prepared this card for you a long time ago, and I've just been waiting for the new catalogue to begin to share it with you. So I'm using the printed vellum, so that's the spotty one here. I've also got some printed leaf vellum, that's for the leaves. Okay, I'm trying to work out what I've got here. I've got some plain vellum as well for leaves. And what else have I got? Got something extra there. I don't think I need it. There's my card base. Okay, and this is my panel for the front. This is, I'm not entirely sure what I've got here. Well, that's the one for the front. Okay, this must be the one for the front. Oh, because it's also using the deckled edged rectangles, and I haven't got a piece for inside my card, but we'll sort that out in a minute. Okay, so let's start off by stamping the greeting that I've got there. I'll just get my piercing mat for you. Welcome everybody who's come to visit. Thank you so much for visiting me today. All right, I'll just get my wishing you all the happiness in the world. Pop that on a block and stamp. This is using Garden Green. Okay, which is slightly darker than what I've got there because I've re-inked it since then. Now, did we have some more spare bits? I'll do a couple more leaves just in case we want extra leaves underneath our flowers. So pop you on there, remove you, put you back in the stamp set so that I don't lose you, and do a couple more leaves. 1, 2, there we go. I think that's all of the stamping done. I guess we'll find out as we go in whether I've done it all, but I think I have. Okay, so I'll pop you out of the way. While I'm doing stamping and colouring and stuff, I will colour these bits of vellum using my stamping blends. So on the plain one and the leaf one, I'm not very good at working out which is the right side and which is the wrong side of this vellum, but I think the right side's actually a little bit darker, so I'm going to colour on the opposite side and then just with my stamping blends just colour all over it like that. Okay, so that gives me that green, and I'll make some darker leaves out of this bit of plain vellum. Okay, there we are. So there's the vellum prepared for the leaves. Let's have a look. I think that might be the right side that way. So I'll colour some light Calypso Coral up one end. And some dark Calypso Coral up the other end. And I'm using my brush tip just to give me lots of coverage. I'm just laying it on the side so that I don't ruin the tip of your stamping blends. It is easy to wear out the old tip on the stamping blends. Okay, so there we are. Whew, smell that alcohol. I think that's it. And the next step is to do some die cutting. So I have, for the flowers, these large ones, 1, 2, and these little ones, and then some leaves using those dies, and then these leaves cut out with this die. So that's a lot of die cutting for all of the bits and pieces. And then for this one, I've just got to get the deckled rectangle dies, and I think this is the one there. There we go. There. So that's all of the die cutting elements. Let's bring in our machine here. Right here. And make my sandwich platform number 1, base platform number 2. Do this leaf first, and my top platform number 2 again. Okay, there's one leaf done. Just do my second leaf. There is a lot of die cutting to create this, but once you've done all that, it actually comes together quite quickly. Okay, 2 leaves done there. Next, with my making sure, now I kept them upside down on purpose so I knew what I was doing. So right side up, put my 2 leaves on this way, and if I move that over a little bit, I will have enough room to cut another leaf. There we go. There's 1, 2, 1 more there. And actually, while I'm die cutting that, I might die cut this one as well. Okay, put you down there because I can't really see what I'm doing there. And then this one, line that up nicely. Hang on, just moved that a second. You get back over there. Right, got my finger holding it in place. Okay, listen to all of that lovely work being done. Okay, there's my greeting, and another leaf. Just grab my take your pick tool to pop that out. Okay, now the flowers. This way up, and because I'm using the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, I can only fit a couple on, but if you're using a big machine, you could probably do all of your petals all at the same time. There we go, there's the large flower. Isn't that beautiful, that coloured vellum? And so easily made. Okay, now the little guys. And I'll be able to make a couple of these because I've got plenty there. And then that one. Pop you 2 out. 1, 2. Couple more. One and 2, and how about we do 1 more and use up all of my paper here so that I don't have any left over to throw out. And then while I'm still using my machine here, I'll also do some embossing for the front of the card. Oops. There we go. It's a beautiful paper. Now, the front, I'm not sure whether you noticed, there's some lovely texture on there. So for that, I'm using one of the Stripes and Splatters embossing folders, this little splatter one. And that piece of cardstock is exactly the width of that embossing folder. So I'll just pop that in there. Now I have to change my sandwich to put number one. I'm reading the instructions on the actual folders, which is a fantastic thing to have. So for this one, I think this is a 3D embossing folder. I need number one, my folder with the paper inside, making sure I've always got a sandwich on top, because otherwise your folder gets a bit bent. There we go. Wind that through. And then we've got this lovely textured element for the front of the card. And I also want to do a little bit of texture for inside the card for my writing panel. So I'll just grab another piece for that. This is a scrap from something else I've made, so I'll just trim off the end. And then I've got my panel for inside my card. Now I don't want the embossing all the way across the whole piece because I'm using this as my writing panel. So I'm going to put it into my folder, just a certain section. And the way to emboss it so that you don't have any line delineating the edge is to make your sandwich so that everything lines up and you have your piece of paper still hanging out. And that way you get a better finish to your embossed panel for inside your card. There we go, and you pull it out. It's just embossed part way, which makes a lovely finish there. All right, let's bring back all of our bits and pieces, hopefully, and put this together. So there's my first layer, that lovely embossed panel. I didn't do those extra leaves, so hopefully I've got enough. I can always do more if I need to. Got my printed leaves. My card will be slightly different to the one on the front, the one I'm demonstrating, but I still think it will look pretty nice. Okay, so some dimensionals for my embossed panel. Dimensionals work really well with embossed panels. Sometimes when I'm using my seal, I have to be careful that I don't tear the cardstock because it's already been softened by the process of embossing. So using dimensionals is a really good way to prevent damage happening. While I'm doing that, I'll just pop this one in and I'll start from the top end so that I don't tear my cardstock. Pop that inside. There we go. And then my greeting first, and then I'll layer all the flowers around it. So I've got wishing you all the happiness in the world. And then with my favorite stamping mini glue dots, I stick these little petals, one on top of each other, one there and one there, and stick them onto my card. One there. I've only got one large flower for this card, so one mini glue dot, stick you on, and then stick you over the top of this flower. Oh, that doesn't look so good. Are we gonna that way? That way looks a bit better. And pop that flower there. One more mini glue dot and mini glue dot. And you can't see the mini glue dots through the vellum, which is another wonderful benefit apart from being super easy to use. They go together very nicely to make gorgeous gorgeous flowers. Okay, one more, and pop you. Might just lift up the petals there, pop you underneath. Okay, and then I can add my leaves. Got a bit of seal on these ones because they've been stamped. Just tuck you underneath there. Seal up there. And the mini glue dots on these guys so that you don't see the adhesive. There we are. Pop you over there. And one more. There we go. I do have to say I like the plain ones, they're much darker. So maybe I will be cutting out some more leaves. Let's put on some bling. Pick up my take your pick tool that fell on the floor and pop these guys in the center of each of the flowers. So they look a little bit like Black-Eyed Susans. Remember Black-Eyed Susans? I can remember my grandma growing them as a child. Not that these are yellow flowers, but the little black centers remind me of that. There we go. Do we need some of this? I think we do. So I'll just grab my lace platform, cutting platform, pop this in here, and a couple more leaves. And my top cutting platform, wind that through. And there we are. Now I've got two more very green leaves to add using my mini glue dot. One there. Oh, good stuff, mini glue dot. There. And another one there. There we go. Translucent Florals. From tomorrow, you'll be able to order it from my online store when the new catalogue goes live. And the absolutely beautiful coordinating dies, which have these lovely outlines for the leaves and petals, as well as all of these dies that coordinate with the stamped images. So they've got it's a distinctive stamp, so that it has that lovely vellum look actually out of the stamped image, as well as the lovely dies. There you go. I hope you enjoyed that, and have another look at the Translucent Florals bundle in the mini catalogue, which starts tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye now.